Nityanandam. So I know that what I'm going to share is going to sound very mystical to many of you, but I really encourage you to listen beyond your human logic. And actually, the ability to connect beyond logic is really a trait associated to the feminine consciousness. And everybody has feminine consciousness, even if you're in a male body. And that ability just allows you to have access to dimensions that you can't have access to otherwise. So if you have like no idea what I'm talking about, I really encourage you to connect to that feminine consciousness inside of you. So what I want to talk about today, first of all, the word portal is really coming up in my space. I can feel that something is happening. When I say feel, I'm not referring to like human feelings, feeling sad, feeling happy, not like that. Like perceiving many powerful energies coming to the surface, like getting unlocked somehow and having a very strong influence on the planet, on people. And in my last video, I mentioned the word portal, and I think it was the first time that I used it in a YouTube video. But somehow, I'm being guided to talk more about them. I really want to share something that happened a while back. So, a while back, Swamiji had organized a program where the participants got to physically visit the ELLORA caves. I wasn't part of that program physically, but what happened is that I saw pictures on Facebook. First of all, when Swamiji organizes like such a trip, it's obvious that the place that is going to be visited is extremely auspicious. And I knew of about a few portals, like for example, the banyan tree in Swamiji's Adinam in Bidadi is definitely a cosmic portal that is connecting different dimensions. So this is what my experience of the ELLORA caves was. So I saw the pictures on Facebook. And I would say, it's pretty rare that I get such a strong reaction in my core when I look at pictures that people post, like on social media. But when I saw those caves, that stone, I knew that something was there. And my seeking just awakened. And like I said, I wasn't there physically, but I was asking, what is there? What are these caves? Like, who lives there? There's definitely an intensely powerful being who resides in those caves. So what happened that night, I was brought there by Swamiji in an awakened dream. And everything was exactly as if I had been there physically. And what I remember, what I want to share with you, is that at some point I was by myself in those caves. It was very dark. I could feel the coolness of the stone, a slight humidity, like a womb actually. It was a womb, a cosmic womb. Almost like I could feel a pulse in it. So nobody was around, and I was expecting to see a being, and my human logic, like from what I know from the human life, I was expecting to see a physical representation of a being, like something that looked like me, but extremely powerful. And what happened, all of a sudden, the connection happened in me. And I realized I could feel the being in the stone. And he wasn't just in a specific part of the stone. It was, I don't even think I can call it a being. It was like such a intense presence inhabiting these stones, extremely high frequency. And I stayed there for a few seconds, like that connection, that umbilical cord connection God created in that moment. So I received darshan of that being, even though I couldn't see like a form that I'm used to seeing. It's hard to explain. And then I was told, then like people were around me and it was time to, like the visit was over and we had to go out. And at that moment, I looked to the right of where I was standing and there was an opening in the stone. And there were, I remember seeing stairs and it was pitch black. It was so dark in there, I could not see anything. And that darkness, which is actually also, you know, connected to the unknown, that fear of the unknown occurred in my space, in my inner space, and I chose not to step in at that moment. So I stood there and I looked at that opening and I saw that in the center, like once you go through that, in the center resides the energy of enlightenment, actually the light. The light of enlightenment was right there in that stone. And it was shown to me as if it was like in the middle of that, of that stone, of that cave. But at that moment, I wasn't fully ready. There was still some fear in me. But when I got out, I knew that, and I was having a conversation with a divine being, and I was telling that I was going to go back. There was so much excitement in my space because I knew what was there. There was just that little fear of the unknown that stopped me from going further. See, based on what was shown to me, I am sure that the ELLORA caves are an enlightenment ecosystem. And this is obviously, you know, Swamiji's mission, to preserve, to protect, to create more and more enlightenment ecosystems, because the truth is they're getting destroyed. And actually, because they're getting destroyed at such an alarming rate, understand, they're there to preserve humanity. Humanity is able to function because of enlightenment ecosystems. Swamiji right now is the only being who can actually revive the science of Sanatana Dharma. And actually, because so many places who still hold that highest frequency of enlightenment are getting destroyed, Swamiji is making us, whoever decides that they want to be cosmically connected to him, he will make us enlightenment ecosystems, which means that wherever we are, whoever we're with, we're going to be able to just carry that frequency of Kailasa wherever we are in the world and just recreate that space and attract those beings who also want to live enlightenment. So this is very important. This really matters. Obviously, we don't hear about these things in society. And one thing I want to share today, and I'm asking you if you feel connected to whatever I've shared, whatever I'm sharing, if you feel like you want to live enlightenment, if you see value in this lifestyle, or only if, you know, even if you're maybe not feeling connected at this point, but you love animals, you love life, and you want to see humanity thrive, there is a petition that I'm going to post in the description below to support Kailasa, which is the only Hindu nation at this point in time. And like I said, Swamiji is the only one who can revive it. And this civilization of Kailasa that is being revived has only one purpose, and that is to help humanity raise in consciousness. Whatever it's doing is for that only. Preserving the science of Sanatana Dharma. So if you feel connected, I'm going to post it, like I said, and if you want to support, so that Kailasa can gain a legitimacy, social, political, legal. If you want to support, please fill it out. And I thank you in advance for supporting Swamiji, Sangha. And like I said, these enlightenment ecosystems are necessary for the humanity as we know it to exist. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in another video. Nityanandam.